Hi, readers. Are you ready for chapter 4 of On My Way? Here we go. Chapter 4. I had started going to Miss Leah's dancing school last September. I was taking beginning tap. First, we had learned all kinds of steps and then a tap number. That's a dance putting all the steps together. So if you're not a dancer, you probably wouldn't have known that. So he says, a tap number. And in parentheses, he tells us what a tap number is. It's a dance putting all the steps together. So dancer friends, you know that, but some of us may not. I like how he explains things to us. Don't you? Miss Leah called it a military tap. We would do it in the recital at the end of May in the auditorium of the Meriden City Hall with the whole city watching. Oh, Maggie came in here to join us. Hi, Mags. How funny. I think she likes when I read aloud. There were 10 girls in the class and 2 boys, me and a boy named Joey. In the recital, we would all dress as wooden toy soldiers. Joey and I were going to wear white satin pants with a gold stripe down each leg, red satin jackets with gold buttons, gold braid, and little brushes on the shoulders called epaulets, and tall hats with little visors and feather things on the front. Our tap shoes would be painted white. Wow! So readers, notice writers. Did you get a picture in your mind of how he described this costume, this dance outfit? He described it with a lot of detail. So writers, I want to read it that part just again. And this time I want you to close your eyes and visualize, picture. Might be easier for some of us than others if we ever took dancing lessons or participate in dance. But see if you can picture this costume. I'm going to read it one more time. Joey and I were going to wear white satin pants with a gold stripe down each leg. Red satin jackets with gold buttons, gold braid and little brushes on the shoulders called epaulets, and tall hats with little visors and feathered things on the front. Our tap shoes would be painted white. Do you have a little picture in your mind? He describes it with such great detail. And he does have a little illustration of the jacket. And there's a pair of probably dance shoes, tap shoes. Mom was good at sewing, but for such an important occasion, a seamstress lady was going to make all the costumes so they would all look alike. I was also going to do a special number with Joan Ciotti, Miss Leah's star pupil. She was a year older than I was. Now, if you're wondering what a pupil is, now not the pupil that's in our eye, Miss Leah's star pupil, Joan Ciotti. What do you think pupil means? Not the eye, not the part of the eye. Are you thinking student? Yes, pupil, P-U-P-I-L, pupil is a synonym or another name for student. It's the word of the day. Well, along with an epaulet, little things on the shoulders, 2 words. We would dance together as the farmer in the dell and his wife in the part of the recital called Nursery Rhyme Time. Our music was the song, Reuben, Reuben, I've been thinking. I had to practice singing too. Miss Leah had written new words to the farmer in the dell. She wanted me to sing them to introduce our dance number. One day after practice, Miss Leah said to me and Joan, "Here's a picture of what you will wear for the recital. It's called a costume sketch." Then she explained that the picture had been painted just for us by a store in New York City. They sold fabric and stuff used in famous musicals on Broadway and for Miss Leah's recitals, of course. "These costumes are beautiful," my mom told Miss Leah. Joan would wear, here's that description again, Joan would wear a short blue satin skirt, with lots of petticoats, a green and white striped blouse, and a kerchief and a white ruffled apron with orange trim. My costume was a blue satin short sleeved shirt, green and white striped overalls with big orange buttons, and an orange handkerchief in the back pocket. I would have on a straw hat with a blue band around it. How descriptive is that? Can you see those costumes? Amazing. Writers, when you're writing your stories and you're describing something like something you wore, something you ate, something you did, see if you can create a picture in your reader's mind of what it might look like. And also draw a little sketch. Here's a little sketch of that costume that they're having made in New York. So you can draw a picture too. But isn't it great when the writer describes what you can see? It's pretty crafty. As a matter of fact, it's called writer's craft when you write with descriptive detail. We're going to be working on this year, writers. How are you going to make my beard? I asked. Your beard? Mom and Miss Leah asked. Yes, I said. The farmer in the dell in my nursery rhyme book has a little beard on his chin. Mom and Miss Leah had a conference. All right, Miss Leah said to my mom, if you can figure out how to do it, and Mom did. The recital was going to be on Saturday night. On Wednesday after school, our tap class went to City Hall for our first practice. Miss Leah called it a rehearsal. That made it sound like the real thing. Miss Leah showed us the stage and explained about the lights and the curtains. Then we rehearsed. It was so exciting. But Saturday morning would be even more exciting. We had to be there for a real dress rehearsal. That's when we would do the whole recital in our costumes for the first time. All the other dancers from Miss Leah's dancing school would be there. Friday afternoon, disaster struck. Mom got a phone call from the seamstress's lady sister. It seemed that the seamstress lady had had a shock. I had no idea what that was, only that she was sick. She had all the costumes done, except for my military costume. Mom said she would finish it. It was a good thing that Mom knew how to sew. There were buttons and braid and the feather on the hat to sew on. It would take time. Okay, Tommy, Mom said. You won't have your military costume at the dress rehearsal because it won't be finished, but don't worry. I will have it ready for the performance. So at the dress rehearsal, I was the only soldier in my practice shorts and shirt. The kids were afraid to ask where my costume was. I decided I would tell them a fib. Do you know what a fib is? I'm going to read a little bit more and then you can tell me. We're too poor, I said. I saw Mom listening. I'm only kidding, I said quickly. It won't be ready until tonight. Now, do you know what a fib is? It's a little itty bitty untruthful part. Little tiny lie, isn't otherwise known as being the only one not having his costume. He's probably feeling a little embarrassed, a little left out, but those are things that are not in his control, right? He couldn't help that the seamstress lady got ill. Of course, my farmer costume was ready, just waiting for me to hop into it. Mom took some cotton batting from a box. She cut out a little white beard shape and put some white adhesive tape at the top so it wouldn't come apart at the edges. Chew, she said as she stuck some chewing gum in my mouth. When the chewing gum was ready, she stuck some on my chin and stuck the beard to it. Move your face and mouth, she said. I did, and the beard stayed right in place. One of the little girls from the baby class came by and stopped and looked. Ooh, she said, has you got a boo-boo? The dress rehearsal was so exciting with all the dance numbers, the music, the lights, the scenery, the costumes. Everything we had been doing in Miss Leah's dance studio suddenly became real sense on the stage. When we weren't performing, We sat in the audience and watched all the other numbers: toe tap dancing, acrobatics, tap, and toe tap. A girl tapped while she was on her toes. Wow! Another girl bent over backward and picked up a flower in her teeth. An older boy, just a year older than me, danced with a girl, just the two of them. Their dance was more like Mr. Fred Astaire and Miss Ginger Rogers twirling around the stage, just like in the movies. That afternoon, Mom made me take a nap while she sewed my military costume. But I was too excited to sleep. I just lay there waiting for the big night. Mom sewed on the last gold button. It was time to go. When we got into the auditorium, we went backstage. All the mothers were putting lipstick and rouge on the kids' faces. Mom started on mine. Blot, Mom said, holding a piece of tissue between my lips. Good, she said, not too bright. Military tap next, Miss Leah's cousin Rhoda called out. We all lined up. I was the first one out on the stage. The lights hit me. I was in heaven. I did everything just right. Wearing my practice clothes, so he thought I was someone else. There was time between the military tap and the nursery rhyme scene. Mom changed my costume. I chewed the gum. The beard went on. Joan Ciotti and I stood waiting to go on. Mrs. Anderson began playing our music on the piano. Joan and I stepped into the big spotlight and danced over to the center of the stage. The audience began to laugh and to clap before we had done anything. I stepped forward and sang my song. The audience clapped again, even louder this time. Joan and I danced, smiling at the audience and at each other. We didn't make one mistake. We loved every minute of it. We finished and took our bows. I heard clapping and whistling. Joan and I left the stage. Miss Leah was standing there. You were wonderful, she said. Go out and take another bow. We did. In fact, we ended up taking 3 more bows. I love it. The word 3 is emphasized. Oh my gosh, look how cute they are. I was bitten by the show business bug. Maybe I'd go to Hollywood and dance and sing with Shirley Temple, my favorite movie star. And that's how he ends chapter 4. Would you say that this dance recital was a pretty big, small moment in Tommy's life? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I hope so. Readers, also known as writers. Remember what I said when you were reading Tommy DePola, Patricia Polacco, or even any book that has a connection that you might have, you might go, hey, that gives me an idea. That gives me an idea of a story that's close to my heart that I want to write about. So jot down that little idea in your heart map or in your tiny notebook pad so you don't forget. Maybe there was a time that you were in a dance recital, or maybe you played a sport or play a sport and you remember the time that you had a special game, maybe a playoff game, maybe the first time you had a unique practice. So you could tell that moment was special to him. Is there a moment that's special to you that you would like to write about? So that's the beauty of a great narrative story. It allows us to go, hey, I remember a time when I did that. I want to share that story. So anyhow, jot it down. I look forward to hearing the story that you have got to share. And today, perhaps venturing out to Seesaw and sharing a story. I know that we talked today about creating our heart maps and starting to write that story in your blue composition book. All right, readers, all right, writers, I look forward to seeing you next time. Keep up the amazing work. You are superheroes, second grader readers and writers, and I know Monday marvelous mathematicians. So I'll see you tomorrow.